You ever hear a sound so out of place it freezes your whole morning? That's what happened to me, a grown man in his 40s who thought he'd seen enough crazy for one lifetime, when my front gate rattled like a bear was trying to break in while I was brushing down Ace, my calmest patrol horse. Before I could even set the brush down, I heard that voice, that shriek that could peel paint off a barn door, slicing through the sunrise like a chainsaw stuck in reverse. And there she was, Miranda Kinsey, our neighborhood's self-appointed HOA queen, stopping up my driveway in a robe, slippers, and a coffee mug she brandished like a sheriff's badge. Right behind her came two poor animal control officers looking so confused I almost felt sorry for them. Almost. See, I knew exactly what Miranda was cooking up. She'd filed more complaints than I could count, but today she decided to bring reinforcements. She jabbed her mug in my face, coffee sloshing onto her slippers, and bellowed, There's the pack of filthy beasts terrorizing our peaceful community. Seize them. One of the officers, the younger one, gave her this sideways glance that said, "Ma'am, are you for real?" But before they could answer, we all turned to watch a cloud of dust rolling in from the west pasture. And riding at the head of that dust like a scene out of an old western, Deputy Sheriff Paul Briggs, boots, badge, the whole get-up, and under him, none other than Dusty, the same horse Miranda had just called in as an urban menace. Briggs swung down from Dusty with this slow, measured calm, tipped his hat at Miranda, and said, "Morning, ma'am. I heard you got a problem with one of my deputies." Miranda's mouth moved, but nothing came out at first. Then, because she never knows when to quit, she fumbled her phone out of her robe pocket and called 911 on Briggs. I swear, the young officer next to me looked at me, then back at Briggs, then back at Miranda, like he was watching a live prank show. Thing is, I've lived here my whole life. This land has been my family's before the HOA even existed. When the county needed a certified mounted unit site, I offered my ranch. My horses are more than pets. They're trained patrol animals with real badges and real jobs. But Miranda? She didn't care. To her, my horses were giant lawn ornaments ruining her Pinterest-worthy suburban fantasy. She kept ranting. "This is a residential neighborhood. You can't keep livestock. You're in violation of HOA Code 3.2. Briggs leaned on Dusty's saddle and drawled, "Miranda, this ranch is a recognized mounted patrol facility. It was grandfathered in before your HOA bylaws ever got typed up in your pretty green binder." She turned to the animal control guys like a TV lawyer. "Do your jobs. Arrest these illegal horses." The older officer with the gray mustache just sighed and said, "Ma'am, unless these animals are neglected or dangerous, and seeing as this one's wearing a law enforcement badge, we got no jurisdiction." She screeched so high I think I saw a crow fall out of the sky. Briggs turned to me and said, "You know she ain't done, right?" And I knew he was right. Miranda wasn't the retreat and regroup type. She was the dig herself a deeper hole type. Sure enough, the very next day, I got a letter from the HOA stuffed into my mailbox so forcefully it bent the flag. Accusations, improper fencing, unauthorized barn extension, livestock odor violations. All nonsense. And every permit, every exemption, every patrol certification already filed, digitized, and triple backed up because I know who I'm dealing with. So I did what any seasoned rancher who's also an unofficial lawyer would do. I copied every document to the HOA's legal counsel and CC'd the sheriff's office for good measure. But I didn't stop there. I upgraded every camera angle on the property and made sure each saddle's body cam was rolling every time a hoof hit the dirt. I thought she'd maybe back down after that, but you'd think I'd learned by now. Instead, she called an emergency HOA board meeting to try and ban non-domesticated animals. That was her new play, rewriting the rules to push the horses out by force of HOA vote. I showed up to that meeting wearing my patrol polo, jeans, and boots. Miranda saw me and her nostrils flared so wide I thought she'd suck the posters off the wall. She ranted for 20 straight minutes about noise pollution, property line encroachment, and, I kid you not, psychological intimidation by coordinated hoof formations. When she slammed her stack of fake complaints down and called for a vote to ban horses, I stepped up, nodded politely to the oldest board member, Mr. Hargrove, bless him, he's got more sense than all of them combined, and said, "May I?" He leaned back and said, "By all means, son." I played the body cam clip of Miranda screaming at Dusty, calling him a war criminal in hoofs. The room burst into giggles. Even Hargrove had to cover his mouth. When they voted, The motion to ban the horses failed harder than a goat at a dance recital. Only Miranda and her cousin Martha raised hands, and Martha didn't even look sure. Miranda slammed her binder shut and stormed out, but not before hissing at me. "This isn't over." She meant it too. A week later, I woke up to find the pasture gate locked with a padlock I didn't buy. Security footage? There she was at midnight with bolt cutters, fumbling like a raccoon in a trash can. Did I call the sheriff? Nah, I just printed the screenshots. Dropped them in her mailbox with a sticky note that said, "Smile for the camera, neighbor." Next, she filed a bogus county complaint saying I was illegally grading land. Funny part, the trench she pointed at was one I caught her digging weeks back when she thought nobody was watching. I sent the footage to the county inspector, who laughed so hard he asked to use it in training for rookie code officers. Then she crossed the line for real. She shut off the horse's water valve, glued it shut so I'd have to tear out the whole connection. That was endangerment. Sheriff Briggs called me at dawn, growling, "Stay put. Let her keep digging." But the final straw wasn't sabotage, it was petty revenge turned felony. Just before dawn one morning, my motion sensor pinged someone crawling through the training corral. I grabbed my flashlight, swung open the barn door, and found Miranda huddled behind a barrel in black spandex like she thought she was SEAL Team 6. She looked me dead in the eye and whispered, "I know your horses are hiding something." I didn't even get to answer before Briggs' headlights hit the fence line. He'd gotten the same alert. Miranda tried to sprint for the barn with a can of neon spray paint, mumbling about unveiling secrets. I blew my emergency whistle, Tango, Dusty, and Ace trotted down like a cavalry. Boxed her in neat as pins. She tripped, flung the paint, and sat in the dirt screaming about conspiracies while Briggs cuffed her for trespass, vandalism, and sabotage of a law enforcement site. The county judge didn't even blink, ordered a psychological evaluation, banned her from HOA leadership for a decade, and gave me full restraining rights. When they led her away, she kept yelling, "The hoofed ones can't win," but she lost the neighborhood, the power, the illusion of control. And my horses? They went right back to work the next day, calm, steady. The best patrol partners a man could ask for. The kids still come by to feed them carrots. The sheriff's department expanded our mounted unit, and the HOA, free of her iron grip, is actually neighborly again. So yeah, sometimes a horse is just a horse. Unless you're Miranda Kinsey, then it's apparently an undercover agent of the deep state. If you stuck around this long, I gotta ask, what would you have done if you were in my boots? Ever had a power-hungry neighbor who just wouldn't quit? Drop your thoughts down below. Hit that subscribe button if you love real stories from the American backyard. And hey, give your local horse a carrot from me and the boys. Stay stubborn, stay kind. See y'all next time.